I'm back on the job, so no villainy tonight. Huh? Got it? I make no promises.
It's no secret that the Despicable Me franchise has been one of the greatest when it comes to animation in the last decade. There is a villain with a kind heart, and then there are all those funny little minions. Obviously, Despicable Me was and is still bound for success. In this video, we will take you on a wild journey to discover all the Easter eggs and hidden details you missed while watching the first Despicable Me movie. Make sure to stick around till the end. Let's get started.
Sorry, brother! Somebody's got to keep the family tradition alive, right?
Gru's identity.
I've got the moon! I've got the moon!
Who is Gru? Where does he come from, and why is he so secretive? All these questions were left unanswered in the movie, and fans were left to fill in the blank spaces. We all fell in love with the character of Gru. He has this crazy plan to steal the moon and become the greatest villain ever when he really is just a sweetheart on the inside. What's not to love? He also had quite the journey in the movie. Stealing the shrink ray, losing it, then stealing it back, raising 3 little girls, stealing the moon, saving the girls. Phew, there was definitely a lot going on, so it is totally okay if you did not pick up on Gru's thick Russian accent. This doesn't give all the answers, but it has pointed some fans in the direction that the character of Gru is a nod to the Russian military. Wild, right? But stick with us. It turns out Gru is an abbreviation for Glanoy Razvedekhnoi Uprilovin. This Chief Intelligence Office is an organ of the Russian Ministry of Defense. So is it possible that our villain has ties to Russian spies? We cannot say for sure, but it would explain his accent and why he was so secretive about his lair. It would also definitely make for a really good plot for another Despicable Me movie.
We have a big recital coming up. We're doing an excerpt from Swan Lake.
Yeah, Swan Lake.
That's fantastic.
Gru's kids.
I told you 12 times.
Hey, can we order pizza?
Pizza, you just had lunch.
Did you ever notice that Gru's adopted girls look like minions? Well, take a closer look. You will see striking similarities between Gru's daughters and his top 3 minions, Kevin, Stuart, and Bob. Margot, Agnes, and Edith do not just match these minions in terms of size alone, but also in personality type. Fans who have noticed this often asked if Gru was subconsciously drawn to these girls because their size and personalities reminded him of his favorite minions. It is definitely hard not to think about this because the whole reason why he wanted to adopt the girls was just so he could use them to gain access to Vector's lair to steal the shrink ray. So how, or rather, why, did he go from this to being sad about missing their recital?
If I'd asked you out on a date, what would you have said?
Are you kidding me? Yes!
Begging to be caught.
We have had a pretty good year ourselves, and you guys are all right in my book.
Try to step into the shoes of a villain for just a moment. Wouldn't you try to blend in and act all innocent? Apparently, this is something Gru never learned in villain school. In the beginning, we see that Gru's house is all black and clearly stands out from the other houses on the block. He is not afraid to pull out his firearms in public, even his clothes and car show just a little how he cares about being under the radar. Throughout the movie, he never tried to hide. It's almost like, what were the animators thinking, right? Well, we can appreciate that this is the beauty of animation because in the real world, Gru would definitely be behind bars for multiple charges.
I was just thinking that it might be nice to deliver Mr. Rector's first, that is all.
Margot's shirt.
Yes! Thank you, Margot! Thank you!
Illumination Studios sure knows how to leave well-hidden details in its scenes, but you can bet that none would get past our eagle eyes. Well, this hidden detail didn't mean much at first, but with hindsight, we now recognize the continuous references. In this first movie, she wears a t-shirt with an image of the Lorax, who we know is the star of another film by Illumination Studios. Later in Despicable Me 2, she wears a similar t-shirt, but this time it has the illustration of Wang Nun-kun from Bayside Shakedown. The illustration is a nod to Fuji Television, which has a business relationship with Illumination Studio. In the third installment, Margot's t-shirt featured The Grinch, which references Illumination's adaptation of How the Grinch Stole Christmas. We don't expect Margot to know that her shirts are more like marketing materials for production, but we sure hope we have given you reasons to always keep an eye out for the illustrations on her shirts in the future. The Minions' language. Majorities of viewers would describe the way the minions speak as gibberish. Although it sounds that way, the assumption is so not true. These adorable minions actually speak Minionese, which is a constructed language. Also known as the banana language, Minionese was constructed by Pierre Coffin with Chris Renaud, who co-directed the movie and voiced the minion characters. So if you were wondering why you understood a couple of words that the minions said, just know that Minionese is made up of a little English, Spanish, Italian, French, Russian, and Korean. To make the language even more real, there are real-life interpretations that can be found in an app that translates and teaches you how to speak Minionese. That is, if this is something you would like to learn.
There are a lot of new villains out there. Younger than you, hungrier than you, younger than you.
Character commitment.
Oh, is that right? Back at your place. Oh, that's cool. I guess Gru must just have one that looks exactly like it!
Only a few people understand just how hard it is to be a voice actor. It is such a difficult thing to do. And for this reason, many actors have taken extreme measures just to match the energy of their characters. By extreme measures, we mean going to certain locations, no matter how far, just to be inspired and connect with people who have lived through similar events to the ones they are trying to portray. A small price to pay for greatness, right? Will Arnett, who voiced the character of Mr. Perkins, certainly had his fair share of hurdles to cross. You would never guess the radical approach he took to perfectly bring his character to life. Arnett admitted that he decided to gain some weight just so he could sound like a much larger man. Gaining weight just to add a little bass to your voice is a new level of dedication, and not every actor would do that.
I know how you must be feeling. I too have encountered great disappointment.
What is Kyle?
Child, give me that back.
No, I don't think so.
Remember Kyle? He shows up in the movie after Gru steals the queen's crown, and he is like the scary equivalent of a puppy. You must have noticed that Kyle is nothing like any regular dog breed. He has dark fur, short legs, and a prominent underbite, sharp teeth. However, we know you most likely did not care enough to notice that Kyle is something between a bulldog and a piranha. I mean, look at those teeth. The puppy acts tough, but he still manages to be cute sometimes. We worry that if he is half piranha, like the producers say he is, then doesn't that mean he needs to return to the water sometime? Minion count.
Gru?
One thing you might have noticed is that there is always an endless supply of our yellow buddies. For Gru, this is definitely a good thing because there seems to be no shortage of help in his evil lab. What you don't know is that there are actually some dedicated Despicable Me fans who have taken the time out to do the impossible. Yes, they have done the work, and you might be surprised to hear that there are 10,000 different and individually unique minions. We know what you're thinking. Hey, that's not right, but it actually is. They all look similar at first glance, but when you look closely, you find that there are different hairstyles and over 40 body combinations that the animators worked with to create thousands of minions. Now that we know how many, fans are still left with a couple of questions, like where does Gru get his minions from? Is there a special minion manufacturing lab in the movie? And why are there only male minions? We hope to get these answers in future installments. Pop culture references.
Wait,
What?
what about Goodnight Kisses?
The Despicable Me movie is littered with so many pop culture references. There are just so many scenes and even characters that remind us of other classic works. The most significant in the first Despicable Me movie is that of our beloved Minions. When you hear the name Minions, you would expect them to be really evil creatures. Instead, they are just fun and mostly harmless on their own. You probably did not notice that the mannerisms and general role of the Minions were inspired by the Oompa Loompas in Charlie and the Chocolate Factory and the Jawas in Star Wars.
Did it for your own good. Come on, let's go get that moon.
So which of these secrets did you catch? Are there any that we left out? Let us know in the comment section. Be sure to subscribe to our channel so you never miss out on any upcoming videos. See you next time.
Are you?
Unicorns are really real!